So today is going to be a pretty nice day today. It started out about 26 degrees this morning, so it was nice and cool. Everything was frozen, but it's actually going to get up to 47 degrees. So it's going to be a really nice day to be outside. But for some reason, I'm going to be in the barn today. So I've got a few things in there. They're just little things that I want to fix. Things that just don't quite work right or that I just don't like. So I'd like to get in there. They're short jobs, 15, 20-minute jobs, and see if I can fix a few things. So let's go ahead and get started. That way I can spend the rest of my day outside. So the first thing I want to fix today is the door to the chicken coop. So we put this Dutch door on there, primarily just so we could throw treats and stuff to the chickens. That way we didn't have to open the entire door. Or if somebody was on the inside working, we could hand stuff back and forth and still not let the chickens out. But I originally intended for this door to actually latch to the bottom door, so you only had one latch to open the whole thing. And that didn't end up working out because the way I hung the doors. So the doors are actually, I put the hinges on the face of the frame. And what happened is one door is probably tilted one way and the other door is tilted the other way. So they're not actually, they're not hinging at the same angle, basically. So what's happening is the reason why this wouldn't latch to this door is when you open it up, the gap between the doors just gets bigger and bigger. And as it brings itself around, you end up with about an inch gap between these two doors. And so what I want to do is I want to rehinge this and hopefully get them where they swing exactly the same. That way I can latch the top one to the bottom one. So to do that, what I'm going to do, instead of hinging them on the face, I'm actually going to hinge them on the inside of the frame. So basically I'm going to take my hinges off and I'm going to attach it to the side of the door, and I'm going to attach it to the side of a door frame just like it would be in your house. And when I hang both doors, I'm going to make sure that those hinges are perfectly in line with each other when I hang it, and hopefully they'll swing exactly the same. And then I can move the latch down and latch them together. So let's go ahead and rehang these doors and see if we can get this fixed. She broke that out.
Yeah.
I gotta find some way to work on this.
And we gotta hang the chicken feed so they don't eat it.
Okay.
Go outside. Go on.
Now the goats can't get in the feed. You have to look in here anyway, won't you, goats?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you goats. Okay. I gotta hang this door. Couple pins as a spacer. Then I got a line. Try to hit. So the bottom door is mounted about exactly where it used to be because the latch still works. Now the only thing to do is to move this latch down and see if we can connect them together. Thank you. I got 3 hands. Hey, look at that. Stays together now. So we got the door where everything works right and it swings right, but the problem is when it goes to shut, the hinge is binding. It wants to open back up. And what that is the screws that I've used are these outdoor deck screws on the hinges. And the head sticks out enough that the 2 heads hit each other now that they're on the inside, and it wants to spring back open. So I'm going to see if I can find an actual wood screw that'll fit in the hinge a little bit better and keep these from binding. Alright, should bind it all this time. Alright. Lot better. Well, I think we got the door all fixed now. So the door latches, the upper door latches down to the bottom door. They swing together, and now they don't, the hinges aren't binding anymore. They pretty much want to stay shut. The screws that I used, the head was bigger than the hinge, so it stuck out just enough, and then when you had a screw on each side of the hinge closing in the same space, they would hit and bind. It didn't want to really stay shut, so I had to change those screws out. That was an unforeseen problem, but now that we got it done, I think everything's good. So now I don't have to worry about this awkward door anymore. One latch will open it now. So I like that a lot better. So the next thing I want to fix is going to be the nest box. So when we built this nest box, when you unlatch it and open the door, it just swings all the way down. Now I had a couple commenters suggest that I ought to put a chain on there so that it could support the door and turn it more into a shelf. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got some chain left over from hanging the grow lights inside, and I'm going to cut some pieces of that chain. We'll attach it to the door and inside the nest box and turn this into a nice little shelf when it's opened up. I think that'll work. Somewhere in there. So we've got our chain on each end of the door, and now we've got a nice shelf. So I think that's going to work out pretty good. So let's go ahead and move to the next project.
Alright, so we put Gracie in with Dexter. It's been actually 146 days ago. I noticed about a week ago that she was bagging up. So she's getting milk, her udders are filling up. So she's definitely pregnant. So I'm excited. Goats typically go 145 to 155 days. We don't know how long it took Dexter to get her pregnant. She was not real receptive to him in the beginning. So we're just keeping a close eye on her. We know, like from what I've read, once they bag up, it could be anywhere from 10 days to 6 weeks. So I've been checking her about 3 times a day. They have ligaments back here in the tailbone. And when they get close, you can feel them. They run down the side of the tail. And when they get close, those ligaments are gone and you're able to completely wrap your hands around the base of the tail. And she's not quite there yet. I can tell that the ligaments have moved. but they're still there. I can still feel them. So she's not quite ready, but we're just keeping an eye on her, and we're planning on putting her in where we made the chicken brooder. We got to make some adjustments to it, so we put her in there for a night. I was concerned that maybe she was close since this is our first time having babies here. So we put her in there one night just in case she birthed overnight. But the more I've read, the more I think maybe she's not that close yet. Maybe a couple more weeks.
So when we put Gracie in there for the night, obviously she ended up trying to headbutt the door to try to get out, because now this hardware cloth is actually pushed outward. And so I'm thinking if we do use this for goats in the future, we're going to want to reinforce this door just a little bit more. So I'm going to take a piece of a stock panel. We're going to cut it out for this bottom frame and then nail that over the hardware cloth, just to kind of give it a little bit of a heavier fence just on the bottom of the door where the goats could headbutt it.
Okay, so this is where I want Gracie to birth, so she kind of has her own safe space. But I wanted there to be a bench. She needed something to hold hay, so basically what we did was drag the milking stand in there. So she can get up here and lay down, get away from the babies. And then in here, I can stuff a bunch of hay. So it's not like a permanent thing. This is supposed to be a brooder area anyway, so it's just kind of a temporary quick fix setup for her to be able to birth babies. But since she was not happy about having to stay the night in there one night, every day since then in the evening, I just been giving her some grain in there and closing the door and shutting it and let her finish the grain, and then I let her out so she gets more comfortable. That's why she's coming over now. She thinks that it's time to eat in there. So now she's more comfortable going in there. She's like, give me some food. Give me some food, don't ya? No, Leia. I want you in there.
Well, I think that's it for what I was wanting to do today in the barn. Thanks for coming along with us. Is there anything else that I was missing that needs done?
Compost pile.
Oh yeah, we still need a compost pile. So the barn is getting really dirty. Yeah, just getting worse and worse without a compost pile.
Well, because they do the deep litter method through the winter. Now it's getting to be spring, so all the bedding needs to come out.
Yeah, it'll be time to clean the barn out here again pretty soon. I know a lot of people probably think we let the barn go a little too long, probably. And yeah, we do let it build up like a deep litter method.
It keeps it a lot warmer in there, so it stays above freezing pretty much all winter.
Yeah, usually it's been staying about 40 degrees inside the barn. It does help that it is somewhat set in the ground a little bit, but yeah, we still need to make a compost pile, but definitely the little problems on the inside, they're just those things that you put off, and you always know it needs done. And finally, I thought I'd take today and get those knocked out, and now I don't have to worry about it anymore. So anyway, what do you say?
Enjoy the rest of the day.
Enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Luckily, I've got some stuff I can space it out with here.
Look at Leia. She was up there.
She fell right off, didn't she?
Oh my goodness. I don't have your camera recording either.
That one is. It's recording you holding that camera.
It is? You turned it on?
Yeah.
Oh. Watch out, Chad.
What's going on? Are you serious?
There's a